5 things to make your track car faster. Number 1, brakes. In this clip from the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship, you can see that the car behind on the left just has a significant braking advantage, almost gets the overtake into the hairpin from a long way back if it wasn't for the car in front with equally poor brakes. You'll see that actually over the next corner he very much makes the overtake stick this time, and here he goes. So what I'm doing about this is I have got new brake pads. I'm switching from yellow stuff to Mintex pads. In fact, you can kind of see the wear on the yellow stuff pads. That was just from one weekend. And at the same time, I'm replacing all the seals in the caliper, and that will reduce the chance of leaks in the season and also provide a better feel. And whilst you're there, you might as well repaint them to make them look pretty. Number 2, suspension. Not all the lessons I learned from my first race weekend were bad ones. In this example, especially down the old hairpin in Donington Park, I was much more confident than the cars around me getting the car into that corner. And just to prove it, here's another clip where I make significant time up. And I think this is just due to the suspension setup. So potentially what you could do with your track car is have a look at your suspension setup and your geometry and get it really set up for your driving style. For me, I probably won't be changing very much over the winter. I think it's working quite well. And obviously it's a regulated part in the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. Number 3, power. So even though that the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship is a limited power series, so you're limited to 105 brake horsepower, I was still losing significant time on the straight. So you can see here that I don't think I got a terrible exit from that last corner, but the car is almost beating me. I may beat him on the brakes into the chicane there. And again, it's the same thing. So yeah, you can see I'm matching the speed around the corner, but I'm really not gaining the time in the slipstream. So I took the car to the dyno, found out I was 15 horsepower down on most of the other cars around me. So I have corrected that with a new exhaust, but it's fuel air spark compression. Your car will probably be different. There's no strict rules on that. Number 4, transmission. No use in having the ultimate power machine if you can't get that power down onto the circuit. So you'll see here that I'm losing time pretty much at every start. Now that could be my driving style rather than anything else. But there's also things to consider like a differential, and I'm kind of including tyres in this. So think about anything that gets your power from the engine to the track, which is where you really need it. So what I've done is I've done a bit of work to make sure that my tyres are absolutely perfect. They are limited in this series, so make sure that the shaving is just right, and that the differential is well maintained, and make sure it's getting it down to the circuit. Again, gearbox is limited in this series, so there's not a huge amount I can do. Number 5, driver training. Now this is probably the most underrated yet probably most important element of racing. I know we all think we're Lewis Hamilton, but we're not. And I'm just showing you a few clips from my first race weekend where, you know, I lost places and time as a result of mistakes. But it's more than just mistakes. It's just losing time all over the circuit. You can gain seconds a lap by getting the right training and making sure that you have the right practice. You know, it's about seat time after all. So I'll be getting out there and doing as many track days as I possibly can, and more importantly, learning from my mistakes. And you know, all these clips are from one race weekend with 3 races. So yeah, if you add all this up, you know, I'm losing probably a dozen places over the weekend with simple mistakes. And you know, in amateur racing series like this, if you can do a whole race series without a mistake, then potentially you'll be the one gaining the places from others' mistakes. And just to prove that it's not just on race weekends I make mistakes, here we are. In the wet with the slowest speed accident you'll ever see. So if you have enjoyed this, please consider liking and subscribing.